Yesterday, the Senate voted on a resolution to limit U.S. involvement in the Yemeni civil war. It bars the military from refueling Saudi planes, among other things, and it generally draws back military presence in the region. It was supported by 56 senators versus 41. All the Democrats voted in favor of it, whereas only 7 Republicans supported the resolution. Afterwards, Congress unanimously supported a resolution to condemn Crown Prince Mohammed bin Salman for the killing of Saudi journalist Jamal Khashoggi just weeks ago. Now, amid this news, I want to take a moment to explain exactly what's happening in Yemen, what the civil war is about, who the major players are, and that sort of thing, because many people have overall no idea exactly what's happening. They just know that we're in Yemen helping the Saudis, and nobody knows exactly why. And some people want us in there, some people don't. So I'm going to take a minute to explain why we're over there, who the major players are, etc. So first, what I need to explain is who the Houthi rebels are, who I'm sure that you have heard of. They're officially called Ansar Allah, which just means supporters of God. They're commonly called the Houthis after their founder, Hussein Badruddin al-Houthi. In 1992, they founded the Believe Youth program, which began founding school clubs and summer programs to promote a moderate theology, which can be found within the Zaidi religious sect, which is part of the broader Shia Islamic movement. They historically ruled Yemen, that is the Zaidis, for over 1,000 years until it changed fairly recently in broader history. In 2003, though, they began to adopt more anti-American, anti-Zionist rhetoric because of the 2003 invasion of Iraq by America. In 2004, 800 of the supporters were arrested by the Yemeni government at the behest of President Abdullah Saleh. Now, at this point, the Houthis launched a rebellion and insurgency against the government, and the original founder, Hussein al-Houthi, was killed on the 10th of September 2004. Now, throughout this insurgency, the Houthis did prevail against the government of Yemen as well as the Saudi backers, which was very humiliating to the Saudis and kind of plays into why they're over there now, because there were some happenings in between those two events, present time and back then, that I'm going to get to here just momentarily. So there was the insurgency, and the Houthis did prevail over the Saudis and the Yemeni government until 2011. The Arab Spring forced President Saleh to step down, and the now President Hadi took power. So in a strange twist of events, and if you follow Middle Eastern politics, a lot is very convoluted, and you see a lot of stuff like this happening. But you remember President Saleh actually arrested many of them. He fought against the Houthi insurgency. They were actually trying to help overthrow him. They fought in the Arab Spring against the Saleh government. But now President Saleh turns coat and he fights alongside the Houthis in opposition to the Hadi government, which is backed by the Saudis, among others. Now, this ended in 2017 when Saleh announced that he was splitting from the Saudis, and he was splitting from the Houthis, and he reached out to the Saudis saying that he was open to cooperating with them, this sort of thing. But the Houthis promptly killed him in his home in 2017. So the war, overall, that's a brief history of the Houthi rebels. The war is generally a proxy war between Saudi Arabia and Iran. As most wars in the Middle East are, it's generally a proxy war between one major power and another. In this case, it's Saudi Arabia and Iran, which are the two most prominent figures. Iran, of course, belongs to the Shia Muslim sect, whereas Saudi Arabia, they're Wahhabists, which is a more violent extremist sect of the Sunni Islamic movement. So it's actually a proxy war between these two. On one side, you have the Saudi-led coalition, which includes the United Arab Emirates, Sudan, Senegal, Morocco, Qatar, the Hadi government, and up until yesterday, the U.S. government. The U.S. government and the military were backing the Saudi-led coalition, which is Sunni, of course. And they support the Hadi government, and we were supporting them. They were they were fighting against the Houthi movement and the broader anti-government movement. Now, you notice earlier I said that the Houthis were Zaydis, which, and I know this can get confusing with all these different sects of Islam, but they belong to the Zaydi sect of Islam, which is under the umbrella of the Shia. Now, this is why the Saudis and the other Sunni Muslims want to rid Yemen of the Houthis, because the Houthis over the past recent years have taken over a majority of the provinces in the country. It's a very poor country, but the Houthis have actually seized the capital province. They've seized the presidential palace, I believe. So it's a very war-torn country. The rebels have prevailed in most senses of the word. Of course, it's not over, or else the Saudis wouldn't be there anymore. But the Houthis are allegedly supported by Hezbollah. When it comes to Hezbollah, they have very similar military tactics, and like Hezbollah, they have a sort of fealty or loyalty to Khomeini in Iran. They do have a sort of allegiance to Iran. They're allegedly supported by Iran, which they probably are to an extent. They're also supposedly, some people claim that North Korea supports them. North Korea, I think, has thrown their support behind them, but North Korea obviously is not likely doing very much funding or anything in that regard, but apparently they've supported them just because of the fact that it's an anti-U.S. movement, it's anti-Israel, it's anti-colonial power. So it's unsurprising that members of Congress like Rand Paul and Bernie Sanders would be supportive of a resolution that would pull the U.S. out of there. They are both decidedly anti-foreign intervention, which is generally good. So it's unsurprising that they would. It's kind of strange that we would be seeing this right now. And they say that it's over this killing of Khashoggi, but I mean, the Saudis didn't recently become bad people. The Saudis have always, they don't let women, up until recently, they haven't let women drive. They cut off people's hands if they steal things. So it's not like they've suddenly become barbaric. We've known that for a very long time. It's also not a new thing that for them to start killing dissenters. That's not a new revelation. We've known this for a long time. And really, when you think about it, most regimes in the Middle East are this way. So, it's which one would we rather be aligned with? It's like these barbarians or the other barbarians. The Trump administration has maintained that Mohammed bin Salman and the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia are vital allies, and they urged senators to vote against this measure. However, it obviously did not go over so well. Though most Republicans did not vote in favor of it, only 7 Republicans did vote in favor of it. So while I think it's generally good, it is generally good that we are pulling out of the Yemeni conflict. It's not so good because number one, while it does seem like the Saudi Arabian Crown Prince, it does seem like he had an idea of Khashoggi's killing. I don't really care, and I don't think that it makes that much of a difference to our policy towards Saudi Arabia. They've probably killed many other journalists. They funded 9/11. They funded a majority of terror attacks in Europe and America, in the Middle East. So people say Iran is the number one state sponsor of terror. It's actually Saudi Arabia. Saudi Arabia is the number one state sponsor of terrorism. There's also, and Iran. Iran, Israel, and Saudi Arabia are the 3 number one state sponsors of terrorism in the Middle East. So it doesn't make much sense that we would align ourselves with Saudi Arabia if they're so bad, but this is it, apparently, that makes them bad. So I'm not sure exactly why the killing of Jamal Khashoggi really pushes us over the edge and makes us not like Saudi Arabia anymore. I don't know, but that's just the fact. So it's kind of strange that this is happening right now just as a result of that event. I don't really... But it's very strange. It's very strange. But that is a basic history of the Yemeni civil war. It's basically a proxy war. Most conflicts in the Middle East, very similar to in Syria, it's the Sunnis and the Shiites vying for power, trying to overthrow one another, and you have Saudi Arabia and Iran throw their support behind their respective allies and try to gain a foothold there. So it's basically the same old story, just in a different place. So it's good that we're pulling out. Not so good that we're condemning Saudi Arabia for Khashoggi. Who knows? Who really cares? But effectively, that's it. Hopefully, we can continue to see a drawdown. This is the first invocation of the War Powers Act that Congress has ever pulled, where they say, Congress has the power of declaring war. So therefore, we do not support this, and we got to pull out. So it's a non-binding resolution, though. So we'll see how it goes. Trump does still support the Saudis, so we'll see how it goes. Hopefully we continue to pull out of more wars in the Middle East. Hopefully we see a stop to the incessant interventionism over there. But we'll see. We'll keep a close eye on it, and we'll keep you updated here at newswars.com. My name is Jake Lloyd, reporting for newswars.com.
As the years go by, it gets harder and harder to keep up with your body's nutritional needs. With changes in diet, unnatural ingredients, and stress, you may not be able to get all the necessary nutrients, amino acids, vitamins, and minerals needed daily. That's why InfoWars Life created the powerful Vitamin Mineral Fusion formula. The new platinum standard of advanced multivitamin formulation, Vitamin Mineral Fusion uses a unique delivery system to maximize the effects and give your body the tools it needs to support your body. Using a proprietary process, we've managed to make this powerhouse formula into a delicious, concentrated drink mix that's loaded with high-quality ingredients. Perfect for a hot summer day or relaxing at home, Vitamin Mineral Fusion is loaded with 34 different essential vitamins, minerals, amino acids, and more. Start supporting your body's needs in a great-tasting, natural, and affordable drink mix with Vitamin Mineral Fusion today. Available at InfoWarsStore.com.